Hi and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a floating frame for a canvas. I painted this canvas behind me a few days ago for my living room, and I wanted to kind of make the look complete by creating a really nice frame. A few tools you might need for this are some wood. So I have this white wood I got it from B&Q. This is 18 by 44 and it's 1800 millimeters long. So you can get strip wood if you prefer. I just got white wood because I want something really cheap. This only cost me £4 each, and they were from B&Q. Also, you might need a miter saw. So if you don't have a miter saw, you can use a miter box or something like this, and just like a regular saw. You also need a tape measurer, a pen or pencil, some wood glue. I'm using Gorilla wood glue for this project. You need some sort of paint. I'm using some spray paint, which is just this is a black spray paint. This is a black spray paint, and I'll show you what I do with this. Also some clamps, which are not essential for this project, but if you have it, then that'll be perfect. And also figure out what color you want the actual wood to be. So I'm actually going to stain it dark oak. I'll show you how I stain it later on in the video, but we're just going to get to cutting. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually measure the length of the canvas and the width and see how we're going to cut it. I've already put my miter saw to 45-degree angle, just so that it will be cut perfectly, so that it just fits like a frame, rather than like a sharp edge.
Make sure you take your time with this process. Also, I recommend you to actually buy a spare or a few spares. I made a mistake when I made some cut-ins, and thank goodness I had a spare that helped me rectify the mistake. But if I didn't have the spare, then I basically would have had to go back to B&Q and start again. But yeah, this process is very, very crucial, so take your time.
Okay, so after all the cuts have been made, I'm going to actually lay them flat on the floor to see if it will fit. My workspace is not that big, so I need to try to move everything out of the way. Make sure you unplug your equipment, just in case you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, so let's see if I actually did the measurements correctly.
My frame fit perfectly, thank goodness. Now the real test, whether the actual canvas will sit nicely on top of it, which is what I'm trying to do now. Obviously, ensure that your actual frame is cut a little bit longer than the length of the canvas, just so that it hits nicely with the corner. And just remember that the actual canvas is going to sit in a floating, it's going to have a floating effect. So it needs to be a little bit longer. Please don't make it the actual length, unless you might find some problems where the edges don't meet.
I don't know if you can see with all the mess in this garage that the frame roughly fits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start making the support for the canvas, where the canvas will sit. So let me show you how that's done. So if you just remove the frame, the canvas, we don't need this for a while, so let me just place it back. Ooh. Try to be gentle. And then all the offcuts that you have, So I have a few spare pieces here. This is what we're going to use to have the canvas actually sit flat on. So the support beams will roughly sit right here, just right underneath the canvas, so that we can place the canvas just on top, and the canvas will sit on top of these beams. So it doesn't really matter the length that you choose to have. You can have it longer, you can have it shorter. Some people have it the full width of the frame, but if you don't have, you know, those scraps lying around, then you don't need to have the full width of the frame. And you're going to do the same on the sides. So paint these offcuts black, so that once it is hung, they're not visible, so you can't see it. So that's the next step. We're going to spray paint it black, which is what your spray painter will be used for. So if you have actual paint, feel free to use that. You don't have to spray paint it, you can skip this step. Sorry, you can skip this step, but we'll just make it look more effortlessly and clean. So that's what I'm going to do now.
So I laid some protection on the floor, and I just went away with spray painting. Make sure you do it in a room that has some ventilation, so a window, just to avoid kind of inhaling all the fumes. And no need to spray paint the back, because we won't be having a look, we won't be seeing that. So just good spray paint on the front.
So that the paint is dried, and you've painted your frame to kind of like your desired effect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a few holes into the black frame. This is where we're going to basically screw the canvas to. So yeah, this is where we're going to basically screw the canvas to. So I'm just going to drill just 2 holes in each one, and that should be enough to hold it in. I put a piece of scrap wood underneath just to ensure that I don't actually hit the ground, basically.
So I'm drilling 2 holes to each support for this frame. The reason why I'm drilling 2 holes is because of the actual size of the frame, because the frame is quite large. If you're working on a smaller frame, just drilling 1 hole or using wood glue will be enough to kind of secure the canvas to the frame, rather than using a longer piece or drilling multiple holes. So whichever way works for you is fine.
Okay. So once that's done, we can now start attaching the support to the frame. That's what I'm trying to say. So once that's done, we can now start attaching the support to the frame. So I'm just going to
So I had to move to my dining area just to kind of finish the canvas. Just a quick thing, to achieve this color of the frame, I actually stained the wood dark oak, and then I used a lime wax to have this kind of ashy grey effect. But I'll put all the details in the description. So now I actually need to fill all the holes. So there are a few gaps in the frame, and what I'll be using to fill it is just some wood filler. This is just like a general purpose wood filler, so you can use whatever wood filler you have at home. And once I fill it, I'm just going to sand down the edges, re-stain and paint the edges just so that it matches, and I'm going to hang it, and that's it. So here's the finished product. Total cost was about £50. So if I want to change it again, I can, and it's completely low cost. I have another video of me actually showing you how I achieved this look in terms of using oil paints, but it was really, really simple. Anyone can do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and tune in for my next video.